Well, hello, hyperspace. My name is Davontos, and it's time to get hyped because this is some competitive Overwatch gameplay. And it's some really good competitive Overwatch gameplay. I actually didn't manage to record the full game, but I can tell you at the very end, we won. So, I want to actually talk about communication in Overwatch. Now, I know I covered this topic before, but I actually want to get into detail and tell you guys there are specific ways and certain ways you should and shouldn't communicate in Overwatch. Now, let's cover the first and most obvious one. Don't be a toxic player. And the toxic player basically meaning a troll or somebody who likes to piss everybody off in the game and start insulting you. And just basically let the players choose who they want to choose. This is a very popular topic. Let's say, for example, Hanzo, right? Nobody really likes Hanzo. At least most Overwatch players. If you see a teammate take Hanzo, don't be yelling at him. Don't be saying like, oh, you suck, Hanzo. Why are you taking Hanzo, man? You're going to throw the game. You're going to cause this game because Hanzo sucks. You never know if that guy is going to be a pro Hanzo, and believe me, I've seen some really, really good Hanzos. So you want to work with your team. If you see somebody take, let's say, a Symmetra on attack, which is kind of a bad idea, chances are he's trying to throw the game and he's just being a troll. And if you see that, don't be yelling at him, don't be, cursing at him, don't be ordering him to switch, just leave him be. Work around it. It can be 5v6 and you guys can still pull off a victory. You wanna work with your team and you wanna be friendly. You wanna have a solid game. As I said many times before, you're never gonna run into these people again. So if they start cursing at you, if they start trolling with you, just ignore them, play your game, get your victory, and we'll leave and join a whole new lobby and we'll find some new people. Also, in Overwatch, if you have a mic and you're playing competitive, I highly, highly suggest that you use your mic, because there are a lot of times when I'm playing competitive and nobody's using their mic, but then they say, let's say Lucio, they have their character Lucio saying, group up with me, group up with me, group up with me, and they just keep repeating themselves, and they're hogging up the chat box with Lucio's quotes saying, group up with me, when it should be so much easier just to plug in your mic and literally ask everybody else to group up with me. And chances are, when you use a mic, through a lot of experience, when you use a mic, people actually listen to you. Rather than having your character saying, group up with me, or I need healing. Nobody really pays attention to that, because a lot of the Overwatch community nowadays, they have a habit of spamming those things. And obviously when everybody starts spamming something, nobody pays attention to it. So when you use your mic, chances are people are going to start listening to you, and on top of that, you can throw up your own techniques and, say, maybe we should have some more tanks in here, maybe we should have some more DPS. But, if you're taking that approach, don't be insulting people. Don't say, hey, no, don't take Winston. Winston's the worst tank ever. You're supposed to take Roadhog. Again, let them take who they want to take and work around it. But if you see it's a terrible team composition, let's say, the 6 players, you got a Widow, Hanzo, Ana, Genji, Tracer, and then let's say you're the only tank and you're a Reinhardt, that is a terrible team composition. So you can actually change it and, ask the guys, hey, can we have some DPS here, or maybe we can have some more healers, or that you can suggest. But don't attack other players for their choice of character. Now, when it actually comes down to communicating with your teammates, you want to make it quick, you want to make it short, and you just want to make it understandable. And I say this because there's been a lot of times where I'm with friends or I'm just with random players and I'm playing competitive, and their communication isn't the best. Let's say, for example, there's a 76, right? 76 can pop up anywhere on the battlefield because he can run around and nobody else can't. Or let's use Genji, for example, right? Genji's dangerous. He gets his Dragon Blade out. Genji can take out the whole teams with his Dragon Blade. So, Genji pops up out of nowhere. Nobody on the team sees it, but you. And then you see Genji, he's like charging straight to the team. You having a mic and everybody else having a mic, you all would listen to each other. All of a sudden you wind up saying, Genji, over there, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, hurry, go, go, go. It's like, nobody's gonna know where Genji is. Nobody's gonna know what Genji's doing. You're saying get Genji, but the problem is everybody's gonna have to stop whatever they're doing. Reinhardt's gonna have to put his shield down. Widowmaker's gonna have to stop sniping. Mercy's gonna have to stop healing and look around to get to cover, because nobody knows where Genji's coming from. And because of that, Reinhardt puts down his shield, boom, your team lost your defense. Widowmaker puts her scope down, boom, you guys lost your sniper support. What's her name? Mercy has to look for a safe hiding spot, and boom, you guys probably lost your healer for a couple seconds because she has to find a safe place to hide. You want to give a really quick shout out. You say, Genji, top left. Genji, flanking behind. Just make it really, really quick. This way people would know. I mean, everybody knows, hey, enemy Genji, time to shoot him. We all know that. You don't have to be like, Genji, get him, get him, get him, get him. We all know we're supposed to get him. We know he's an enemy, and we know we're supposed to get him. What we don't know is where he is. So it will be your job, if you happen to spot an enemy, to actually tell your team briefly where he is. Enemy top left, Farah above, 76 flanking to the right, and so on. Make it very quick, very brief. And the reason I say this is there have been multiple games where I've joined and everybody is using the very sporadic yelling into the mic, Genji, over there, over there, over there! Everybody's doing that, and it's basically like joining those cafeterias in school, right? Everybody's talking at once because we're all giving sporadic shoutouts, everybody's screaming the same thing, get him, get him, get him! And you never really know who to listen to because it's just like a big fumble up of voices in the mic and you can't understand anything, and then before you know it, Genji uses his ulti, the enemy Zarya shoots a gravity ball, and then they get a team wipe, and you guys lose because it's not proper communication. So, I know this sounds very strict, I know this sounds like very, I guess, harsh in some kind of ways, but when it comes down to competitive, especially competitive Overwatch, a lot of players are playing competitive to win, and that's when you gotta take things very, very seriously. So, the communication, short, brief, understandable, and then, for the team composition, don't attack people with their characters, as I said before, because most people, again, play this to win, which means they take it very, very seriously. I know it's very silly to take it very seriously because, well, it's a video game, but you know how most people take this seriously, so keep that in mind. And let's say, for example, one more thing, if you're talking to somebody and they wind up getting tilted, right? Maybe their character keeps on dying, maybe they can't get enough kills and they start tilting, you could do two things. Ignore them, or just try to show them that it's not a complete loss. Even if you guys lose the game and your SR drops, try to tell them, hey, it's not that bad. We still got some XP out of this to work for those loot buckets. It's not a complete loss. And try to show them, like, a brighter side of the situation. If they start tilting and you see that they're mumbling or cursing on the mic, don't be telling them, hey, dude, calm down, man. Ain't nobody want to hear that foul language, because that's going to make them tilt even more. And trust me, a angry player is an unfocused player. If you are angry when you are gaming, you are not focused, trust me. So, just try to stay calm, try to play the game, try to get the victory, try to be nice, and try to give some positive feedback out there. Because as I said many times before, you're never, ever going to run into these people ever again. So don't care what they say to you, don't care what they think about you, and just play to win, and carry on to the next lobby. There is another thing you can do with these tilty teammates, the guys who start to get angry and they start mumbling into the mic and so on. You can actually give them suggestions. Let's use Farah, for example, right? A teammate's using Farah, and then you see, Farah is really powerful out in the battlefield, but let's say the enemy's got a Soldier 76 and a Widowmaker, two hard counters to Farah, and you see that Farah player keeps on dying from 76, and the Farah player keeps on dying from Widowmaker, and they can't get any kills because every time they get into the battlefield, they're either shot down or sniped. And the Farah player starts getting angry because, well, he can't do anything. Kindly give him a suggestion and say, hey, dude, instead of taking Farah, because I see, you're not really doing much as Farah, try taking somebody who can help out the whole team. Maybe switch on to a healer, maybe switch on to a tank, switch on to somebody who can help out the team and, well, give us some support, because at the moment, Farah is just helping out the enemy team and not really your team. And, well, maybe the guy will be like, yeah, you're right. Let me take Reinhardt. Well, there you go. You got a better player. Well, not a better player, a more reasonable choice in a suited situation. Now, one more thing before the video's over. When you're making these suggestions to your teammates, let's say, for example, they have a DPS, right? Like 76, and you guys need a tank, don't ask the 76 player to be like, hey, soldier, can you switch out to a Reinhardt? We need some barriers. Because you never know if that guy's comfortable with taking Reinhardt. Say, we need a tank. Or say, we need some defense. Let the other guy be the decision maker and let him decide which kind of defense he wants to play. Because if you specifically tell him to take a Reinhardt, he's going to tell you, oh, I suck with Reinhardt, or maybe I don't like Reinhardt, and then you're going to tell him, oh, but we need a barrier, and then that's when the whole argument starts coming on. Let him be the deciding factor on who he's good with and who he's not. If you say we need defense, ask him, hey soldier, we need defense, and then surely he's going to take a defensive character. Might not be the one you're hoping for, but even still, it's a character who plays some defensive roles, which can still benefit your team. As I said in the beginning of the video, the main thing you want to do is work with your team and work around toxic players. You guys can still do this even if it's 5-on-6, and if you guys are really good, you can actually do it if it's 4-on-6. I've seen it happen. So, if you liked this video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me up on Twitter at Davontos Man. And as always, I'll see all of you in the next video. which is going to be Call of Duty. Call of Duty's back on the channel. Have a nice day.